Bessie Smith was born on April 15, 1894 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. She was the first black performer to sell between 800,000 and 1 million copies. She was one of 7 children. Her father, a Baptist minister, died shortly after her birth. His death was later followed by the death of her mother and her 2 brothers around 1906. She and her remaining siblings were raised by their aunt. It was around this time that Smith began to perform as a street singer, accompanied on the guitar by one of her younger brothers, Clarence. In 1912, while performing as a comedian and dancer in the Moses Stokes Minstrel Show, Clarence asked the show's manager, Lonnie and Cora Fisher, to allow his sister to audition. They agreed and eventually hired her as a dancer. Soon thereafter, she would land a position in the Rabbit Foot Minstrels, of which blues vocalist Ma Rainey was a member. Rainey took Smith under her wing, and over the next decade, Smith continued to perform at various theaters and on the vaudeville circuit. Although Ma Rainey mentored Bessie Smith, their careers had reached an equal footing by 1923, and soon the pupil would surpass the teacher. In 1920, a blues singer named Mamie Smith, of no relations, recorded Crazy Blues, which was so vastly popular that it essentially created an industry for blues songs recorded by women. Both Ma Rainey and Bessie Smith were scooped up by record companies. In 1923, Smith's big break came when she was discovered by Columbia Records. It helped launch her successful career of 160 titles. Bessie's first record for Columbia, Downhearted Blues, was a smash hit that reportedly sold 800,000 copies. Bessie would go on to rack up many more hits and become a star. Bessie purchased a custom-designed railroad car for herself and her troupe in 1925. This allowed her to bypass some of the dispiriting negative effects of racism found in both northern and southern states. She traveled with her own tent show, or with the theater's own booking association shows, commanding a weekly salary that peaked at $2,000. In her recording career, Bessie Smith worked with many important jazz performers, such as saxophonist Sidney Bechet and pianist Fletcher Henderson and James P. Johnson. With Johnson, she recorded one of her most famous songs, Backwater Blues. Smith also collaborated with the legendary jazz artist Louis Armstrong on several tunes, including Cold in Hand Blues and I Ain't Gonna Play No Second Fiddle and St. Louis Blues. By the end of the 1920s, Smith was the highest paid black performer of her day and had earned herself the title Empress of the Blues. By the end of 1920s, however, her popularity had lessened, though she continued to perform and made new recordings at the start of the swing era. Her comeback and life were cut short when she died on September 26, 1937, from injuries sustained in an automobile accident outside of Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Bessie Smith is one of the greatest female recording artists of the 20th century. She's influenced such great artists as Aretha Franklin, Billie Holiday, and even Janis Joplin. And in 2015, HBO did a movie on her, loosely based on her life, entitled Betsy, in which Queen Latifah starred in. Once again, my name is Torrin S., and I want to thank you as always for joining us for another great African moment in American history.
Feel free to subscribe to our new Black History and Info website, ourstoryyourtruth.com. For the next year, this website will be updated on a weekly basis, consistently bringing you fresh material, including many which will not be on this channel. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Thank you very much.